And welcome back to the episode of Geek Centurions. Me, your boy, Eli.
It's me, Joe.
We're here to talk about another Halloween episode with actual Halloween.
Yeah, we're talking about not just Halloween,
Horror movie.
the movie Halloween, but not just how many of these did they make?
Okay, so there's the first the two Season of the Witch, and I think there's other two. There's 5. Then there's H2O, and then there's
No, that's water.
No, but there's one that's called
I know.
I hate you. And then I think there was one with Busta Rhymes, beating up Michael Myers, which is just weird, just really, really weird. And then there's the Rob Zombie ones, which I kind of liked, but they do a little. I can understand why people don't like those. And then now we have the new trilogy, which is I feel like I'll take that challenge one of these days of watching those 3 movies, because I hear it goes from it's pretty good to pretty bad to really, really bad, and I'm like, okay, is it bad or really, really bad? Okay, I need to judge this myself, because some of you guys tend to forget how some of these Halloween movies kind of are.
Yeah, I could definitely understand that, but no, we're gonna be talking about the original, the one that started it all,
John Carpenter's Halloween,
1978.
Which, can I just say, John Carpenter, master of horror. He's in a lot of horror movies, a lot of great horror movies.
Yeah, a guy has a good eye for what makes the horror genre work. Because I mean, he also did The Thing, which I mean, obviously,
They Live.
Yeah.
There's another movie in there somewhere. Did he do? No, he didn't do Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But he's very much like he has earned that title, and I think this is one of the movies that really like started his career. Original 1978.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, 1978. Halloween. So we're gonna be talking about not just the movie, but also like from an aspect of like, as we tend to do with a lot of these, it's just like, oh yeah, no, this you can see where this how it influenced a lot of people. Where do you want to start? Because the story is very much simple.
Yeah, it is a very simple story. I think. I probably for if you were new to Halloween, it might be just a bit too simple, because it really does hit like all those sort of classic horror movie vibes, right? There's a guy that goes around killing people, teenagers and all that stuff, right?
You can see the trends being set.
Yeah, I mean, granted, the interesting, the thing that is interesting about the movie is probably also why, like, I think a lot of people like Halloween 2 a bit more, because obviously the movie starts off with Michael as a kid murdering his babysitter. Or at least I think it's his babysitter.
It's his babysitter. It's either his sister. Let me double check.
Yeah, because I mean, I know.
Because the thing about it is that they often so many times rewrite the story in so many ways, where Laurie, Jamie Lee Curtis's character is like the sister, and some of the recent movies she's not. Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's not related to who died in the first. It's just. Yeah, but no. Yeah, because that's definitely like the more. It is like one of those interesting notes, right? With him and the doctor, right? Who's like very clear, like this man's a monster. He's an ordinary man. He's just a crazy psychopath. He doesn't talk at all. That sort of thing. And we only get like.
It's his teenage sister Judith.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I mean, like, it's definitely interesting.
I love the way it's shot. Right.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it also sort of has that like thing I like about some horror movies and stuff, that sort of that first person POV stuff. I mean, obviously in this case it's like, it's that you're like, hey, what's going on here? Who just murdered it? It's like, oh, it's the kid that they were talking about earlier. And it's like, oh, what's up with that? And we don't really get an answer to it, and we don't really get much of like, all right, so why is Michael Myers a weird dude who wants to kill people?
Why? And it's they never really give you an answer, and I think that's part of the charm of it, right?
Yeah.
Where you can see where people are frightened and scared. For me, like when it comes to Michael Myers, this version of Michael Myers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because later on they started adding stuff, the fact that Laurie is his sister. You have the Rob Zombie shit, and then you have the stuff that's going on in the recent films. That hey, Michael is just you know, and in the words of Dr. Loomis, evil.
Yeah, like it puts him very different from say Freddy or Jason in
Yeah.
in those movies, like where Freddy is like this
Vengeful spirit who
who definitely diddled some kids, probably, right? I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
Yeah, who just wants to take revenge on the people who killed him,
Yeah.
on their kids. And you got Jason, who is well, I mean, I think the original had the mom as the killer, right? But
Yeah.
Jason comes back himself. Like he's also kind of vengeful, right?
Yeah, he starts out with a little was it a paper bag or something, and then he moves on to like
The hockey mask,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That was more of a Friday the 13th kind of guy. But yeah, no, it's even then like Jason is felt more like a force of nature kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like he's both human, but also like has that force of nature thing. Because I mean, the ending shot is.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, when you think he's dead, like he does that whole like stands up, or like raises up kind of
Yeah.
thing. Similar to, I guess, if you watch wrestling, The Undertaker, whenever he would
Yeah.
like get knocked down, he would just like stand back up, which I think is the inspiration to how The Undertaker does his thing actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, very force of nature, very like he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't quip like Freddy, but he's
No.
also not like just doing insane shit like Jason, right?
Mhm. No, he's very meant to be like very like grounded and down to earth, but just in Loomis's idea, the embodiment of all evil.
Yeah.
Because like he would almost say like there's nothing in his eyes. There's nothing. Just pitch black. He's like, I started 6 years trying to help him, and then the next 7 trying to keep him locked up because there is no soul in there. It is emotionless.
It's always interesting because like everybody kind of just sort of dismisses him, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of like, oh, why do we have to go through all these lengths? And stuff like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
This man is evil.
Mhm. Which is funny because like in the Rob Zombie version, I always think about that one because like he tries to capitalize the fact that how fucked up Michael is,
Mhm.
and like that's even more fucked up if you ask me. It's why I always kind of like Loomis in this one because it's like you can see like he knows and he doesn't want anyone to like there's a sense of good in him
Mhm.
compared to Rob Zombie's, even though it's played by Malcolm McDowell, who does a great job in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's also kind of funny when you think about it. Michael Myers is this sort of like um, very down to earth kind of killer. He's not supernatural, but his presence is like kind of that.
Well, yeah, because half the time when you see him, he's just standing there.
Hmm.
You know.
He's just like roaming around, which is one of the things I really do like about this movie. Right? It's this sense of like there's always danger around the corner.
Yeah, there's like obviously the scenes of him like just following the girls around, like he's hiding behind a bush, and he's like, where
Which is
does he
such a
go?
simple thing.
Yeah, it's like he's like there, and then he walks back behind the bush. It's like, okay, that's creepy, and like he's watching Lori, out the window, right,
Hmm.
in that little backyard terrace or whatever, and it's
Hmm.
like, all right, yeah, that's pretty, creepy.
Yeah, and then there's like, and one of my favorite parts is like, and it's such a subtle thing, right? Like you could, I wouldn't say it's a blink and you miss it, but like it, it's the scene where Lori and her friend are talking in the car driving, just like letting out a smoke, and like the car is following them.
Yeah, Michael is following them behind the car.
It's such a good thing right
It's
there.
funny too because I'm pretty sure there's not any like, because normally when stuff like that happens, they play like the very obvious creepy music.
No,
But
yeah,
I'm pretty
there's
sure
no
in
music
that
in that.
scene there's no music, so you
There's no
kind of just
music.
like you figure obviously
The only music coming from is from the radio.
yeah.
Because I noticed immediately, oh, they're playing Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah, Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's that's sort of
It's silent.
yeah. Like there's no like added ambiance of like, oh, this is a creepy moment thing. It's like no, that's the creepiness is that. Wait a minute, is that just a regular person that's behind them, or is that Michael Myers
And then you
following
find out
them?
like, oh, it's Michael.
Yeah, it's him. It's
Yeah.
oh.
Another thing again, like I really do find funny is that they again, it's like the fact that Michael is sort of in Loomis's turn idea, the embodiment of evil. He's just a regular person still at the same time, right? Because like there's so many shots of Michael just standing, and like he's just a really tall dude. He's not this imposing figure, or this muscle bound, like roided dude. He's just like a dude who just may have some unnatural strength because he just broke that window with his bare hand.
And he also just like a lot of times will just like choke people with his bare hands, you know, that sort of thing. But yeah, he's definitely a dude who just he's definitely strong. I'll tell you that much, but he's not inhumanly strong.
Not inhuman. No, not like Jason, who can like walk through fire and lightning and bullshit.
Yeah.
And I guess we could just start talking about the fact that Halloween as a franchise was originally supposed to be an anthology series.
Yeah, I think that's mainly. I think they do that with Halloween 3, right? Season of the Witch, which has more or less nothing to do with Michael Myers. But I know, obviously, the second one sort of like adds a bit of conclusion to it, right? Because obviously, I guess you talk a little bit about the ending.
I mean, it's a movie that's been out since the 70s, dude.
Yeah, but pretty much, like the doctor shows up, right? He shoots Michael a bunch of times. Michael falls off out the window, presumably to his death, and it's like, Laurie's are just being like, was that the boogeyman? Because I mean, that's the whole thing with the kid and stuff. It's like, honestly, probably is. Only to he goes out to look out the window and Michael Myers isn't there.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck? That's probably the only thing that's like you could consider maybe supernatural.
Yeah.
Is that
he survived that.
Yeah, he had a revolver and let all those shots into Michael Myers, and he falls out like a 2-story window, and he's not there.
Not there.
I mean, we see him fall there, obviously. Yeah. But then, like in the next cut, he's just gone. And it's like, oh, what the fuck?
Well, it's even funnier because, like, I think it's just going back to that idea, right? Real quick, is that they keep referring to him as the boogeyman. His name is Michael Myers, but in the movie, he's technically also called the Shroud. Like, if you look at the credits, because he's not supposed to be this person. He's this as Loomis would say again, embodiment of evil. So it's that. But yeah, no, it's clearly the second one was meant to give more of a conclusion to that story. The third one was more of them trying to be an anthology series because I mean, don't get me wrong, that third one was pretty cool. Yeah, just little kids going around wearing masks, and the mask killed them and turned them into mush. It's kind of referencing the new MK game.
Well, I don't know about that, but sure, it's the reverse if you want to say that. But yeah, it's obviously you get the idea of it, right? Like, there's no real reason why. I mean, obviously, the whole point of why it's called Halloween is that it just takes place on Halloween night. So I understand that. They wanted to do an anthology series with it at least. It definitely makes sense. But I think, obviously people were more like just enthralled with Michael Myers himself as a character, or the things he can do, to where people were just like, yeah, we can just make all the other Halloween movies are just gonna be about Michael Myers just murdering people.
Yeah.
Just go down the route of of your Nightmare on Elm Streets and your Friday the 13th and stuff.
Yeah, so it's I'm looking through the list because the thing about Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise is that they keep adding shit though, right?
Mhm.
That's always been kind of my one thing. They keep adding like really weird shit. Like having now like taken an appreciation of film and understanding of like that original one, them adding stuff onto it just feels very off to me, right?
Yeah.
Because like they try to go more into that supernatural route where like I wouldn't say again I'm not saying he is right, but there's a lot of hints of like there is this sort of force uh that comes from Michael. They do so much stuff because I remember 4 was the Return of Michael Myers, 5 Revenge of Michael Myers, Curse of Michael Myers. That's the one that has like the cult, like there's an actual cult, like a pagan cult trying to like use Michael Myers to do their bidding.
Mm.
Yeah, and then there's H2O, Resurrection. Yeah, yeah, I was right. It's very weird.
I mean, how many? I mean, um, Friday the 13th, you had Jason X, or
Yeah,
I believe it.
yeah, where he's in space.
Yeah, you got the one where he goes in space. One where he goes to hell.
Manhattan.
Although I love the one where it goes to New York.
That's the one.
Yeah, where he only actually goes. He's mostly on a boat for the entire
Most
movie
about.
until like the last like 5 minutes where he's just walking around New York.
Mm.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
like,
Oh, I totally forgot about this. They do have like a weird timeline differentiation. So like it's like Halloween 1, 2. No one counts 3 because that one's an off, shoot.
yeah.
And then it's 4, 5, and 6. But then like H2O is the one that goes back to. It's supposed to be a follow up to 2. Resurrections is a follow up to that. And then there's the Rob Zombie movies. They have nothing to do with any of that. And then like the new trilogy is supposed to take place after the original one.
Huh. That's neat.
It ain't complicated as fuck.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, when you look at it, right?
Yeah.
When you compare it to like any other horror franchise, it's pretty, by the numbers. Literally by the numbers, you just go.
Yeah.
Whichever one is the next one.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I guess that is kind of interesting when you look at it in terms of the Halloween. Like, I guess, I mean, I think that is sort of it's because of the. I feel like it's because of the simplicity of
Yeah.
the original Halloween plot,
Mhm.
like those first 2 movies. Where it's like, well, shit, where do we go now?
Yeah.
Because Michael is like we said earlier, like a regular human person with a little bit of like crazy ass strength and like somewhat
Mhm.
durability, but like at the end of the day, he's just a dude. He's not possessed by anything except his undying, well, I guess I'm not undying, but like he just wants to murder people. He even killed a dog. I think he killed it with his bare hands too, right? Like
Oh, he kills it with his bare fucking hands, man. That man does not care about animal safety.
which is one of those like cardinal sins when it comes to movie characters, right? You hurt the dog, you're automatically evil. It's like that's how you know.
That's how you know.
That's how you
'Cause
know.
no one could ever hurt a dog.
Yeah.
That's the whole like point of John Wick. They killed his dog.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, there's no forgiving this.
You kill this man's dog. All right, I'm 100% behind John Wick. All right, John Wick, kill all these motherfuckers.
Put a pencil up someone's eye.
Yeah, just. But yeah, I think just to move on a little bit. Obviously Jamie Lee Curtis, the character Laurie. Definitely one of the like again like I think we said earlier, like it's like it feels like you have a lot of building blocks of what kind of defines a lot of the cliches of the horror genre. With her, it's just kind of like it's kind of interesting, right? Like she is just a straight up just regular girl.
Yeah,
right?
I think she's the first final girl, right?
Like that, the idea of the final one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where because the trope of the final girl is that she's this very like meek, quiet, very not she's supposed to be the opposite of like a girl who's out there, which I hate to say.
Yeah, I guess what you're trying to say is she's not very sexually promiscuous.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a trait that happens to a lot of horror movie characters, like, oh, if they're banging, they're gonna die.
Because that's for a reason. The situation.
Well, I mean, I feel like some people like to attribute it as like, oh yeah, the killer is killing them because of their sins and stuff, which I feel like is a very interesting take.
Yeah.
But I always assumed, I feel like I've eventually sort of come to feel like, I think it's just because like it's very hard to like, you get distracted when you're in mid coitus, you know. I feel like that's why you know, people, it's very easy to catch someone off guard when you're like, you know, in the middle of engaging in those activities. It's
You're
like,
not wrong.
I mean, hell, in this movie, Michael Myers just walks in on them while they're banging and like watches them for a bit and then walks out.
He's like, yeah, I don't want any of this.
Well, it's more like, all right, these probably make easy kills. Hold on, I'll wait for them.
I'll let them finish it.
Yeah. Oh, listen, I'll let them finish. You know, I'm a gentleman that way. But
it's probably gonna last like it's probably gonna be in like 3 minutes.
I mean, teenagers, yeah, probably, right?
Yeah, no, even Michael's sister died after coitus.
Is that? I mean, yeah, I guess it is implied because she is naked. Which, I mean, yeah, this is a rated R movie, by the way. A couple of those.
No, dude, it's pretty obvious. Like they're making out. They go upstairs.
Yeah,
naked.
yeah. And then she's like doing her hair naked. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. It's just in my brain. It's like it could have been something else. I don't know.
I think what it is, and this is very off topic, right?
Right.
Is that who does that after banging?
Yeah, I guess you would take a shower, right?
Yeah.
She didn't look like she took a shower. But,
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, no, it you know, like obviously that's sort of the thing about the final girl is that she usually is a virgin, and it's like the whole. I think it's part of like the whole like purity thing too, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like you know, she's not distracted by a lot of these things, right?
No, she's
making her sort of capable of like handling the situation because obviously all of the killings take place in one house while she's babysitting two kids being responsible essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's only when she realizes she hears her friend getting strangled by the phone cord. It's like, okay, there's something going on over there.
You know what's funny? When she is the final person to confront Jason, Michael, sorry, same thing. Because I remember and I had a film class and we talked about this as like one of the genres of film. And like one of the cool thing, because like we also talk about the music. We will talk about the music in a bit, right?
Yeah.
Is that Laurie is very conservative, very dressed very. She's very quiet. She fills up that role, and not only in her appearance, and towards the end she becomes more like literally like her hair is done a lot nicer. She's more, has her shirt slightly open. She's more, I don't want to say sexual.
I guess more like, I don't think sexual would be the word either, but it looks more like, I guess I see where you're coming from. She's dressed very conservatively, right? But by the end of the movie, she has more like loose fitting clothes and stuff. Like, I feel like it's more like to take advantage of the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like she's, like Ripley at the end of Alien where she's in her underwear or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's more of like, okay, this is like her being true to herself, right? I think that's where you're kind of going at.
Yes. This is her, who she is, and this is her moment kind of situation. That's what we were talking about. There was no right way to get there. From the way that my professor explained it. Yeah, by the way, it was a woman.
Was a woman making that sound? Of course, obviously. But yeah, no, it definitely, obviously makes sense. I think, I mean, at the end of the day, right? Like, she has to handle Michael Myers on her own for a little bit, and while she isn't the one that kills them by the end, right? But she's a survivor, right?
Yeah.
She does all she can to like protect the kids and like do all that sort of thing, which gives her that nice little heroine role, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, I did say we were going to talk about the music. Joey, how did you feel about the music in this one?
Well, I will say this, right? Like, the Halloween, like, theme is, it's iconic for a reason, right? Like, dun 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 dun. It's like, it's so like it's creepy enough, right?
Synthesizes, man.
Yeah. Um, and whenever it's used in scenes, you're kind of just like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
like this is like thing, this works. There's also another like sort of music tone they use or musical theme they use whenever stuff does get creepy. But it's more, yeah, like it's more for when you don't know stuff is going on. But usually when Michael's on screen, they usually play like the Halloween theme, right? I mean, heck, the movie starts off with it too. Like I feel like as soon as if there's anything involving Michael Myers, that's when that music hits, where it's like it feels weird because it feels like, oh, he's coming.
Yeah. It's the Jaws theme.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Dun.
Which, funny enough, I'm pretty sure came out a year before this movie, so maybe they got some little bit of a inspiration of like, oh yeah, let's use music to to indicate that yes, the big killer of the movie is showing up.
Yeah.
You might builds up anticipation in a weird like way like that, right?
Yeah. And to go back to what you were talking about, right? The idea of the movie using silence, right? Because the movie doesn't use a lot of music, and when it does, it's very sparingly, and it's used effectively to show, like you said, like he's coming. Michael's coming. Phrasing. But I think about the moment where like the lights turn off at the opening scene in the house, like like okay, something's happening. That's his opportunity. And then like Michael starts killing. That's when we get the theme and all that stuff. So this movie, I would say, like if you're someone who like wants to know how to use music effectively, yeah, use this movie. This movie's like a really good tool for that.
Yeah, I guess you would say like watch this movie and sort of learn, that sort of thing, right? But yeah, that's I will say this though, like sometimes it does get a little overplayed with the second theme though.
Yeah, it does.
And
it's one of those things where like remember this is a synthesizer, so it gets a little loud and a little like ear curling sometimes. Like I love the music in this, but like damn the quality.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure we watched it in. I mean, we didn't watch like HD restored, like any sort of this stuff for it. But yeah, I definitely get what you mean by that. Like, you can definitely get a little grating, I guess. But it's.
I think it's the charm.
Yeah, I guess it is sort of part of that charm, right? At the end of the day, it's like one of those like it's a nice little suburb, right? And then you have this creepy music playing, which obviously, it creates that nice little dichotomy, right? Of like, like typical American suburb, and then you hear that music, it's like, oh, okay, this is getting creepy now, right? Because it feels, like, I think that's probably the other charm of Halloween. It's like you could have it anywhere, right? Because Michael is sort of like at least grounded enough of a movie serial killer guy that you see all the stuff that he does, like, oh yeah, no, that definitely seems like that'd be something creepy that could happen, right?
Yeah, it's. I mean, like Michael is that killer in the back of your car story, basically.
He does kill someone in the back of a car.
He does. Yeah, he does. He fills up that role. Yeah, it's that, right? And hey, sometimes I even check behind my car, like, is anyone in here, just in case?
I mean, I never really do. I only check if someone's broken into my car.
Fair.
If they steal my stuff. But besides that, yeah, It's like,
yeah. The Halloween, the original Halloween movie, it as such, it's not only just a really good movie. It's a movie that you can tell like influences, so much, like from Jason to Freddy to a lot of the horror icons that we have nowadays, right? With like the Chainsaw Massacre guy whose name escapes me.
Leatherface,
yeah. You can see how like a lot of that influence from Michael, and Michael being like the very simple one, as like this person who is committing such terrible things to people, and that's all you need. It's the fear of the serial killer, right?
Yeah, like I mean, obviously, Jason and Freddy kind of go out there eventually, right?
Yeah.
But it does feel like for the most part, Michael Myers has always been sort of like they never get too crazy.
No.
In the Halloween franchise, right?
The way they do, but like but it hurts it so much.
Yeah, I guess that I see what you mean. Like when they do go crazy, it feels wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's like this, because it starts out so simple that once you start going like into shark jumping territories, it's like okay, this is just absurd. Because I mean, like like
Michael Myers will never go to space.
Yeah, I was about to say you'll never see Michael Myers in space. You'll never see him like make like do all these sorts of crazy. He's not gonna like survive like a nuke or something or whatever. Not saying that Freddy or Jason have ever survived a nuke, but I wouldn't be shocked if they did survive a nuke. All right, I'm just saying.
You're not wrong. It there is a simplicity to it, and while I haven't seen like the newer Michael Myers the Halloween movies, I'm tempted to try them out just because I do like the idea that they're going back to more of that kind of feel of the original one. So I might check it out. I might let you guys know about that. But Halloween will never end because apparently they've been bought out by another company and now they're going to be doing movies for them.
Well, I mean, I feel like they might. I mean, do you think it's another remake?
I don't know. Or they can go back the anthology route.
I think that's probably where they should go at the end of the day, because I feel like it'd be neat in this sort of day and age, right? Because I feel like we have a lot of that sort of stuff in horror, like the American Horror Story, right?
Yeah.
All that shit's anthology based, right? So I can imagine like seeing this stuff like that, and being like, yeah, let's do Halloween that way, right?
Yeah. But anyways, guys, I think that's a good place to end it too. So if you guys enjoyed what you heard, be sure to follow us on Instagram, social media. Any of the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're most active on Instagram, where you find a link to all podcast sites. We're officially part of Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, all the like, and a YouTube link there for all your listeners out there who want to put a face to the voice. Be sure to follow us there, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, that's about it. It's been me, your boy, Eli.
It's me, Joe.
And happy Halloween, guys. Go out and just get candy at least. Don't kill anyone.
Well, I mean, listen. All I'm saying is, if you see somebody dressed in a weird looking Michael Shatner mask,
William
Shatner mask, it might not be Michael Myers, but he could be.
He could be.
So lock your doors.
Have a good night.